Back to Scott's Ring Sports today. Merry Christmas to everybody out there and happy holidays to those who don't celebrate Christmas. It is time to do our next week of college football bowl predictions and our NFL predictions. So let's get into those right now. Starting out with the tomorrow night Ford Field, Northwestern and Central Michigan in the Sports Bowl. I will take Northwestern. I think Northwestern's done a better job this season than Central Michigan, so I'll take Northwestern.
Northwestern is part of the Big Ten. I think just has played a superior schedule. I like Northwestern in this game as well.
Next up in the Rate Bowl, Minnesota and New Mexico. I will take Minnesota. I think Minnesota's had a better season than New Mexico, so I'll take Minnesota over New Mexico.
Yeah, Minnesota played a lot of the Big Ten team stuff. I know they had a close game against Iowa. I also like Minnesota in this game.
Next up, it'll be FIU and UTSA in the First Responders Bowl. I will go with the Roadrunners to get the win here. I think UTSA's had a good season, so I'll take UTSA here over FIU.
I agree. I think UTSA is going to win this game, and it's amazing the schools that make it into bowl games, but I like UTSA in this one.
Next up in the Military Bowl, thank you to all the military people in the entire country. Pitt and East Carolina. I'm going to go with Pitt. I think Pitt's had a very good season in the ACC, so I'll take Pitt over East Carolina.
Like Scott's trained monkey at this point. I'm also going to go with Pitt. I think that they, other than Notre Dame and Miami, they were pretty darn competitive, so I liked them against East Carolina.
Next up, Penn State, Clemson. I will take Penn State. I think Penn State's had a very good end of the season, so I'll take Penn State over Clemson.
I'm going the other way. I think Clemson gets the win in this one. They've got more continuity. Penn State lost their head coach. I think Clemson gets the win because they've got more players.
And if we did pick some of these last week, I do apologize. I couldn't remember what we did last week, but continuing, UConn and Army. I'm going to go with Army. Army's had a better season. I think UConn's had a good season, but I think Army showed me last week that they still have some fight left after that great game they had against Navy a few weeks ago. Riley told me it was the best Army-Navy game ever, so I'll take Army over UConn.
I think with UConn losing their head coach to Colorado State, I think Army also gets the win here. They also have a very unconventional offense that's difficult to stop.
Next up, Georgia Tech and BYU. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech here. I think in the Pop-Tarts Bowl here in Orlando, I will go with Georgia Tech. I think Hank King's going to make enough plays here. Kalani Sitake already said LJ Martin will not play for BYU in this game, so I will take Georgia Tech over BYU.
I'm going to go the other way. I think even without that starter for BYU, I think the Big 12 was better than the ACC this year. I think they're going to expose the ACC for what they were, which is not a very good conference. I like BYU in this one.
Next up, Miami, Ohio, and Fresno State in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. I will take Fresno in this game. I think Fresno State's had a better season than Miami, Ohio, so I'll take Fresno over Miami, Ohio.
Since Fresno is a team closer to the bowl site, I'm also going to take Fresno. It's essentially a home game.
Next up, North Texas and San Diego State. I'm going to go with North Texas, even though their starting quarterback may not play this week because he entered the portal. I'll take North Texas over San Diego State.
North Texas lost their quarterback. They lost their head coach. I'm going to take San Diego State in the upset.
Next up, Virginia and Missouri. I'm going to take Missouri again. I don't think the ACC was a good conference this year. So I'll take Missouri to beat the ACC champion in Virginia.
I also like Missouri. I think that the SEC was far superior than the ACC. Virginia won a lot of close games against mediocre teams. I like Missouri.
Next up, LSU and Houston. I'm going to go with LSU. I think LSU wants to, I think the players want to impress their new head coach, Lane Kiffin, so I'm going to go with LSU over Houston.
I'm going to actually go the other way. I'm going to take Houston this one. Houston, actually, when they played at their best, they were a very good team. So I think Houston gets the win because they want to be there more than LSU does.
Next up, Georgia Southern and App State. I will go with Georgia Southern. I think Georgia Southern's had a better season. So I'll take Georgia Southern over App State.
I know nothing about either team other than both teams have sprung a lot of upsets in the past. I know App State is famous for their upsets, so I'm going to take App State in this one.
Next up, Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech in the Independence Bowl. I'll go with Louisiana Tech. I think they've had a better season than Coastal. So I'll take Louisiana Tech over Coastal Carolina.
I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech as well. Again, they're playing closer to home, so give me Tech.
Next up, Tennessee and Illinois. I'm going to go with Illinois. I'm not actually going to go Tennessee. I think Tennessee's had a very good season under Josh Heupel, so I'll go with Tennessee over Illinois.
I think Illinois was a disappointment this season. I think Bielema, their head coach, thought they were going to have a lot of guys back. They were going to be a lot more competitive. I like Tennessee in this one.
Next up, USC and TCU. I'll go with USC. I think USC's had a good season in the Big Ten, so I'll take USC over TCU.
I think this is kind of the jumping point for Lincoln Riley. Had the #1 recruiting class out of high school this past recruiting cycle. I think USC gets the win.
Next up, Iowa and Vandy. Diego Pavia's comments after the Heisman Trophy were not good, but I think Vanderbilt, I think he's going to prove why he should have been at least higher up in the voting than a lot of people had him. So I'll take Vandy over Iowa.
I mean, Iowa's a great defensive team, but they really don't play any offense. I think Vanderbilt just flat out outscores Iowa. I thought like Vandy.
Next up in the Sun Bowl, Arizona State and Duke. I'm going to go with ASU. I think, like I said, I don't believe the ACC was good this year. So give me ASU to defeat the ACC champion in Duke.
It's going to be a competitive game, but I also like ASU, the only team that beat Texas Tech. So I think ASU, when they're at their best, can be very, very good.
Next up, Michigan and Texas in the Cheez-It Bowl here in Orlando. I'm going to go with Texas. I think Arch Manning is going to find a way to win this game because I told Riley this. When he plays at home, if he plays in good weather, he's great. If he plays in not so great weather, he's not great. I'll take Texas because they're more used to this weather. I'll take Texas over Michigan.
I'm going to go with the team whose head coach didn't go to jail within the last 30 days, which would be Texas. They have a lot less turmoil, a lot more continuity. I like the Longhorns.
Next up, Nebraska and Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. I'm going to go with Utah, even though Nebraska was a good story this year for Matt Rule. I'll take Utah over Nebraska.
I think Utah is going to be playing for their now retired head coach.
Yep.
They want to send off his year in a positive note.
Mm-hmm.
I like Utah to beat Nebraska, but in a close one.
Next up, Miami and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, first playoff game of the semis of the quarterfinals. I'll take Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State will make as many mistakes as Texas A&M did last week, so I'll take Ohio State over Miami.
Based on what I saw last week, I think this should be a low-scoring affair, but I agree with Scott. I think Ohio State has too much, and I think they probably beat Miami by 10 to 14 points.
Next up, Oregon and Texas Tech. I'm not going to pick every single favorite to win every single game, so I will take Oregon to beat Texas Tech. I think Dante Moore is going to prove why he should be one of the top picks in the draft. So I will take Oregon to upset Texas Tech.
This one's a tough one for me to pick because Texas Tech really hasn't played any quality teams outside the Big 12, but I do believe that Texas Tech is a very, very good team. I think they show their superior work in the transfer portal last year. I like Texas Tech to beat Oregon.
Next up, Alabama and Indiana. For my buddy Kurt Essler, I think Indiana will move on. I think Fernando Mendoza is going to prove why he should be the #1 pick in the NFL draft, so I'll take Indiana to get a close win over Alabama.
I was not a full believer in Indiana until they beat Oregon and Ohio State. Now I'm buying in. I like Indiana to beat Alabama.
Next up, then another rematch. My dad hates the rematches. It'll be Ole Miss and Georgia. First time these two played, Ole Miss had a lead going into the fourth quarter, and then Georgia came back and got the win late in the game. I'm going to take Georgia, though. I think Georgia's got a little more focus right now than Ole Miss. Ole Miss doesn't have their head coach, so I'll take Ole Miss. I'll take Georgia to beat Ole Miss.
For the same reason Scott's taking Georgia, I'm going to take Georgia as well. They have less turmoil. Their head coach is still there. They got more continuity. While I think Ole Miss will make it a game, I do like Georgia in this one.
Now into the NFL games for the weekend. First game out, Dallas and Washington tomorrow. Good game to unwrap Christmas presents with because this game's not going to be very interesting. I'm going to take the Cowboys to get the win here. Hopefully, Dak doesn't have a massive day because I'm playing against him in fantasy this week. So I'll take Dallas on the road over Washington.
I agree. Washington have so many injuries, and they're really a shell of their former selves. I like the Cowboys to get the win.
Next up, the Lions on the road in Minnesota. Lions playing for their season. I will take the Lions to find a way to get a win here and stay alive in the playoff hunt. I will take Detroit over the Vikings.
Even though Detroit is mathematically not eliminated, I think that for all intents and purposes, their season's pretty much over. And Minnesota has played spoiler of late, so I actually will take the Vikings in this one.
Okay. Next up, the Denver Broncos going into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. When was the last time the Chiefs were 2 touchdown underdogs at home in Arrowhead? I will take Denver. I think Bo Nix and R.J. Harvey are going to have a big game. R.J. Harvey's been playing great this season as a rookie. Good to see as a UCF fan seeing R.J. Harvey going out there and doing what we saw him do last season here at UCF. I'll take Denver over Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City obviously without Patrick Mahomes is a completely different team. Obviously, Denver's got something to play for. Kansas City doesn't. I like the Broncos big.
Next up, Saturday, Houston and the Chargers. I will take the Texans. I think the Texans have a very good defense. I still don't believe Justin Herbert's 100%, so I'll take Houston over the Chargers.
This is an excellent game. Where's it at?
It's in LA.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Chargers at home. I think that they'll get enough plays to win the game. I think it'll be very, very close.
Next up, Baltimore on the road at Green Bay Saturday night. Last Saturday night, the Packers choked away a big chance to win the NFC North by losing to the Bears. I do not believe they'll lose this one. I will take Green Bay over the Ravens with Lamar Jackson probably out with a back injury. I think Green Bay will get the win here, so I'll take the Packers over the Ravens.
I agree. Without Lamar, I think the Ravens obviously are a completely different team. I like the Packers at home.
Now into the Sunday games. Not a lot of Sunday action this week because it'll be first up Tampa Bay and Miami. Listen, Quinn Ewers is going to throw for like 250 yards, 3 touchdowns because our defense can't stop anything. But I think the Bucs will find a way to outscore the Dolphins this week. I think Baker Mayfield's finally going to play well this week. He's going to see all those Twitter and Facebook comments about him being the reason why we're losing so many games. I will take Tampa Bay to find a way to win this game and keep their season alive going into next week. I'll take Tampa Bay to get the win over the Dolphins.
It's really hard for me to pick the Buccaneers after them losing, 6 out of 7?
Yep.
But Miami, fortunately for us, has a rookie backup quarterback playing. That's the only reason I would say the Bucs win this game, but I think it'll be an ugly win.
Yeah. Next up, Arizona at Cincinnati. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow's going to outplay Jacoby Brissett. I think this could be a shootout. But I'll take Cincinnati at home over the Cardinals.
I mean, neither team has anything to play for, so I think the team that's playing for their home fans is going to play the hardest. So I also like the Bengals.
Next up, Pittsburgh on the road at Cleveland. I'm going to go with the Steelers to lock up the AFC North. I think with the Ravens losing on Saturday, I think all they need is a win, and I think Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers know that. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers to get the win on the road in Cleveland over the Browns.
I agree with Scott. I think it'll be a very close game. Obviously, the Browns have not laid down.
Yep.
They played the Bills very tough last week. I think they'll play the Steelers equally tough. Obviously, Myles Garrett's trying to make history, and Shedeur Sanders is trying to solidify his role as a starting quarterback. So I do think it'll be close, but I like the Steelers.
Next up, the Saints on the road in Nashville. I will say Tyler Sheck's been playing pretty shucking good the last 3 or 4 weeks. I will take New Orleans to continue their hot streak that they're on right now, and I will take the Saints over the Titans.
I agree. The Saints are a completely different team since they put in Shuck, and I like the Saints to get a win on this game.
Next up, Jacksonville at Indy. I will go with Jacksonville to get the win here. I think the Jags are a better team right now than the Colts, so I'm going to go with the Jags on the road over the Colts.
I mean, watching the Monday night game between Indianapolis and San Francisco, Indianapolis, particularly on defense, seemed like they were just laying down. And so I've got to take the Jags. I've got something to play for. The Colts season's essentially over.
Next up, the New England Patriots heading in to MetLife Stadium and take on the Jets. 35 degrees in MetLife Sunday. I will take the Patriots. I think Drake May and the Pats know they got to probably win out to win the AFC East. So I'm gonna go with New England over the Jets.
So yeah, Mike Vrabel has got to be a candidate for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Excellent job with the Patriots. I never anticipated they would be in this position, but they've made a believer out of me. I like the Patriots to win this one.
Yeah, I got him probably third on my Coach of the Year list right now, so we'll see. Next up, Seattle on the road in Charlotte to take on the Panthers. Bucs fans may be done after this week. If Carolina wins and we lose, then our season's over and we don't even get a chance to play for the division next week. Good thing is, I don't think that'll happen. I'm going to go with Seattle. I think the Seahawks, even if the Bucs lose on Sunday, I don't think Seattle's going to lose to Carolina. So I'll take Seattle to get it done on the road in Charlotte against the Panthers.
Fortunately, the Seahawks have something to play for. And also, if you look at Carolina's track record, they play well one week, play terrible the next week. This is the week they're supposed to play terrible.
Yep.
So I like Seattle to get the win on the road.
I would actually like to see the Panthers win this game and also us win, so then we can beat them next week. But we'll see. Next up in the, I'm going to call it the Fernando Mendoza Bowl. It'll be the Giants and the Raiders. Loser of this game gets the number 1 pick in the draft probably. Mad Dog was so upset about this game being on at 4 o'clock on Sunday. I'm going to go with the Giants. I think the Giants need this game. I think the Giants are going to win this game. I think the Raiders don't want to win this game more. I think the Raiders want that number 1 pick more than the Giants do right now because the Giants already have their rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart, and I think the Raiders need a quarterback, so I'm going to go with the Giants on the road over the Raiders.
I'm going to go with the Giants for the exact same reason. I think that the Raiders, they won't say it publicly, but they got to be laying down for this one. They want the number 1 pick. I like the Giants.
Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Buffalo to take on the Bills. 2 teams that don't really need a win here. Both teams just playing for playoff seeding. I'm gonna go with Philly. I think the Eagles do not want that number 4 seed in the NFC, so I'm gonna go with the Eagles to get it done on the road over the Bills.
Neither team has been consistent this season. They've been both up and down, so it's hard to know which teams are going to show up. But I think the fact that Buffalo is playing at home in front of their home crowd, I like the Bills in a close one.
Next up, Sunday Night Football. Caleb Williams and the Bears going into San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Should be a good game. Both teams coming in 11-4. I'm going to go with the Niners at home, though. I think it's an East Coast team going to the West. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers to force a number 1 seed play-in game next week between them and Seattle next Sunday. I'll go with San Francisco over the Bears.
Yeah, watching San Francisco Monday night, their offense was virtually unstoppable. Part of that was the Colts. The Bears have probably a better defense at this point in the season, but I still like the 49ers to get a win. But I do think it'll be close and competitive. Next
up, Rams and Falcons, Monday Night Football. Give me Matt Stafford and the Rams to get the win here. I think this would be for the division if the Bucs would have won last week, but unfortunately they didn't. So I'll take the Rams on the road over the Falcons.
I agree. Again, the Rams have something to play for, which is good. The Rams have been playing very, very well. I think they're arguably the best team in the NFC. I like the Rams. And
just for an extra pick this week, me and my dad will now pick our 2 teams that we think are going to make the Super Bowl going into the final week of the regular season.
Thanks for the notice.
For me, I'm going to go with the Bears and the Jags, also known as the Bucs should have hired them bowl. Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen both should have been hired by the Bucs last season. We should have gotten rid of Todd Bowles last season after that embarrassment that was the Commanders playoff game last year. So I'm going to go with the Bears and the Jags in the Super Bowl.
Interesting. I've had no time to prepare for this, so I'm going off the cuff. I'm going to go with the Rams against the Patriots in a rematch of whatever Super Bowl that was with Brady's last win. That's where I'm going.
Yep. And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Vegas Sports Day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back next week with some more NFL and college football predictions. We're running a little bit low on college football games. Almost season over, but we can start talking about college basketball maybe because UCF's off to a good start. And we'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Vegas Sports. See you later, guys.
See you guys.